Friends, I know it's hard to believe, but I have found Mandy and she is in a closet.
Back in the closet.
Back in the closet. And she's cleaning it out, which is the best thing. The list of things that she has just found in this closet, it's making me happy.
If
She's
you need it, if you need a gift bag,
ah,
listen.
she's your girl.
For those of you who missed a few episodes ago, I don't even remember. I'm at my sister's house and I forgot my microphone. So if you listen to Armchair Anonymous on Fridays, which is under the Armchair Expert umbrella, you will know that Monica instructs everybody when they call in for that to like be in a closet or in a blanket for it or something. So I'm assuming it makes my sound quality better for me to be in the closet. So that's why I'm hanging out with my sister's Letterman jackets.
It does. It does sound good. Look, you sound good and you look good. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I'm here
thanks.
for it.
That's pushing it.
I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I have gotten snippets of it, so I think you did.
Absolutely. We had a very Merry Christmas. And
Good,
you did
good, good.
too.
I spent a lot of mine in the car, which was great. I got to see my people, but that's why I'm in pajamas today. So when we sneak a picture, you'll get to see Katie in PJs. It'll be great.
Which is perfect. We did not get out of our Christmas PJs literally all day yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe next year I can suggest that to the fam that we just do a big PJ party.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
hard to beat. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't plan it. It just had some people got out of their pajamas.
Right.
My sister nor I got out of our pajamas.
Well, I did have to put my LL Bean duck boots on because I had to go get the cemetery wreaths out of the cemetery so they didn't stay too late past Christmas. In the pouring down rain is a nothing but rain here. It's still raining for 2 days.
That
So
was some dedication to your mission.
yeah. Well, I'm not going back until
I was about to say
February.
it's better
So
than driving back down there.
yeah. So I got wet wreaths in the back of my car right now. It's great.
Where do you store the wreaths?
I have, so the parsonage has a really nice basement.
Okay.
So it's down there.
So they
They just,
move with you when you
yeah. Oh,
move?
yeah.
Sort
Yep.
of like this
They sure
empty
do.
bottle of Aveeno lotion that
Yes.
apparently moved with my sister and ended up
Just like
in the
that.
closet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah. I'm glad you had a Merry Christmas. I thought about you yesterday and just what a gift you are. So thank you for
thank
being my friend
you.
and this beautiful and all of our people, our new followers included. I'm just floored at the things that have happened over the last week or two.
Listen, fresh with greatness.
I know,
Here we
right? So today I thought I would kind of honor my lovely ancestors. So I had my great grandmother had siblings that never married. And it was twin brothers and a sister. And every year at between Christmas and New Year's, they threw a syllabub party. And I have all the records from them. I'm the family historian. I know you're shocked and amazed, but I have all these records. And in these records are the syllabub party things.
I feel
And
like maybe you mentioned the syllabub.
yes,
Syllabub. It's like syllabus, but with a B at the
the
end.
B
What
on the
the heck?
end.
What the heck is that?
So syllabub, the what they used to make to me sounds really not appealing like that sweater you just held up from the closet with I don't know what that is on it.
That was listen. A Cousteau shirt, which was really in vogue in 1997. I was really cool wearing this.
Well,
My DC friends will remember this shirt. Anyway,
yes.
continuing. Sorry.
Their syllabub was white wine with like whipped cream in it. And that sounds so bad. And so I thought about doing and you can Google it, but I thought about like making it and then I looked at the recipe that was in there and I was like, no, I'm not. But in the show notes, I saw one in Garden and Gun and it's red wine.
So a syllabub is a sweet dish made by curdling sweet cream or milk with an
Right.
acid such as wine or cider.
Yeah.
It
And
was
they
a
used white
popular
wine.
British confection.
The one that I have tagged in here is a red wine that it's from Garden and Gun and it looks much better.
So this was like a Boxing Day celebration,
Yes.
and they had a syllabub.
They had a
Okay,
Syllabub
it's
party, and
all coming together.
they were kind of known for their Syllabub parties. Well, as part of that record, I found this little gem, and I will take a picture of it and put it on the Find Your Friends. It is a torn piece of paper that has been folded and well used with a toast on it,
It's
typed.
it's find your people. That's the name of our podcast, not find your friends.
Oh God. Find your people. So I found my people, and this is the toast that they used to give. God Almighty, at the Syllabub party. This was
Yeah,
pretty racy for the time. Are you ready for this? I'm going to
I'm
read it
ready.
to
Lay it
you.
on us.
When God gave out brains, I thought he said trains, and I missed mine. When God gave out looks, I thought he said books, and I didn't get any. When God gave out noses, I thought he said roses, and I told him I wanted a big red one. When God gave out ears, I thought he said beers, and I told him I wanted two large ones. When God gave out legs, I thought he said kegs, and I asked for two round ones. Ain't I a mess? That is the toast that they used to give at every Syllabub party.
Okay, so these were your
Great grandmother's siblings, the Milledgeville people. They're the ones
okay.
over buried with their mother Kitty in Millie.
So I'm just trying to equate them to people I knew in my family who were of that age. So they would be
So
like my
Ethel was
great
born in
grandmothers.
1900. Yeah, Ethel was born in 1900.
Okay, so they're like my great grandmother's
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
I'm not sure my great grandmother knew what a keg was,
I know, right?
but what do I know? She might have.
I know. They were just these wild, like Ethel is one of my favorite people. I've got all of her records. So she in the early 20s, not early 1920s, moved up to Michigan to go to college by herself. That just
Okay,
didn't happen back then.
right?
We called her AE. I don't know where that came from, EYEY, but her name was Ethel. And then she taught at Randolph Macon College,
Yeah.
and she wrote the curriculum that they used to teach kindergarten teachers how to teach.
So did she live long enough for you to know her?
Oh, yeah, I knew her real well. I have a few pieces of her jewelry when she passed away. They were dividing up her stuff, and Gogi got some of her rings for me. We used to go visit her all the time. When I was little, they still lived in the family house over there in Milledgeville, so we'd go, and she probably passed away when I was either middle school or like a freshman in high school. So yeah, I knew her very well. And loved her. I never knew those things about her. I never knew she was that kind of a brave
Right. Right.
badass, but she was. She was great. And so I'm thankful to have her records. And then I found this and I was like, oh heck yeah. So part of what I'm going to do this break is measure this, because of course it's not a standard size, and get a frame for it
Yeah.
and hang
Frame
it up.
verbiage.
But it was typed on a little typewriter. It's just the
No.
coolest thing.
So where did you find that?
It's in a box. It came, when my grandmother died, she was kind of the keeper of the records for all of those siblings. So she helped them do their taxes. She took care of them. She made sure they had a place, in the nursing home, and we'd go visit. We visited them all the time. And when they needed medical care, they took them to the hospital and the doctors. So she kind of was their caretaker since they didn't have children. And so when she passed away, we were dispersing her house. We found all of these wonderful records of not just my grandmother's, but of my great grandmother's and all of her siblings. So
So it was in Gogi's house.
yeah, yeah, I couldn't believe it. But the Syllabub recipe, I'm never ever going to use because that just sounds gross. Curdled milk. But really, check out the Garden and Gun version. It looks much better. It's like red wine and brandy. It's almost like a mulled wine with a
Well,
whipped cream on it.
So, well, and two, I mean, you sort of turn your nose at Will. My nephew was just showing me a bunch of videos on TikTok where it was like vodka and milk, Vilk, yeah, and like just all these different spirits you pour in milk. But I can tell you, I have been enjoying some milk punch, which
I do.
is
Mm-hmm.
milk and
And
bourbon and
bourbon.
or rum.
Yeah. Well, and it's
Um,
like eggnog and rum or eggnog and bourbon. I mean, it's not totally, it's just the white wine and the word curdled. I couldn't
I'm
get
with you.
past
With
that.
you.
But like I said, the mulled wine that they have on the garden gun looks palatable.
Yeah.
So if I was
Okay.
going to make it, that's probably the version I would do.
Gotcha.
But
Well, that's
anyway, I just
cool.
thought that was great, and I just wanted to give voice to those little relatives and that thing. So half the party, don't make the white wine syllabub, but find something fun to make and toast in the new year. So that's
Absolutely.
my hope for all of you. The other thing well, before I tell you about my Christmas week, couple days, but the thing that's been catching my attention on TikTok and on all of the socials really is Mr. Simone Biles is in a little bit of trouble.
He done did it.
He done stepped in it. And what's interesting to me is that it's like the reaction has been across gender, race, creed, all things, everyone, except for Mr. Simone Biles is like, how would he not know who she was? So
He's
he did
full of it.
I know he did an interview on a podcast where he said before he met his wife, Simone Biles, the great Olympian that Mandy and I love and have always loved because we are Olympic like historians. He said he didn't know who she was.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
That is bull malarkey.
and so now on social media, all these women are asking their husbands, "Do you know who Simone Biles is?" And every one of them says, "Of course I do. She's the goat." And then they
I
say,
haven't
"Well,
seen
do you
that.
know who her husband is?" And they all say, "Wait, she's married?"
I haven't seen that. That's
Oh
awesome.
my God. Most of them are like, "I didn't even know she was married."
That's awesome.
I know it's just great, but it really does. Simone, I just hope you're okay. That's all I got to say.
Right. And it's the what I like when he first said it, what I kept seeing people saying was something about like Travis Kelsey, and like
Yeah,
they would do like
yeah,
contrast the things that Travis
yes,
Kelsey had said versus what
yes.
this guy's saying. And it's like, girls, find yourself a Travis Kelsey.
Not a whatever his name is.
Whatever, don't even know his name.
I don't know. I mean, I know he plays football, and that's about it.
I watched the original clip of him when
Yeah.
they were asking him about it, and even the guy interviewing him
Yes.
looked at him like, "Dude, you are lying."
And
Oh,
well, they've proved he kind of was because they went back and found his tweets and he was like live tweeting during the Olympics. He knows exactly
that's
what he
just
stepped
worse.
in.
That just makes it worse.
I know. It's so bad. So anyway, Simone, we love you. But it also made me get really excited for what I'm most excited about for 2024, which is the summer
Harris,
and
baby.
the Olympics. And I know I'm sure we will do a lot of athlete profiles, and I'm sure she'll be top of our
Oh,
list.
y'all are gonna be so sick of the Olympics by the time we're done with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and warn you.
Let me tell you, there will be menus. There will be, I mean, we're going
We
to learn
might
how to cook French food.
we might have to go to daily podcasts. It like
Seriously,
the commentary that we will have.
it'll be amazing.
You just don't even know.
You don't know. The text chains in the past have been inappropriate and off the hook and wonderful. And I cannot wait to share it with the world. Cannot.
Yeah, I'm really sad about Simone
I am too.
because she's come so
Yeah.
far from having the twisties,
Yep.
and she's really worked on her mental health. But why is she with that douche nozzle?
And I thought, I mean, just obviously, you never know what's going on behind closed doors, but I thought he was a cute little fella. I mean, I saw the pictures from their wedding. I mean, he seemed to be at least somebody who appreciated her, but
Yeah,
It
maybe
takes a special kind of
she,
fella.
yeah, to be with someone like that. And she
Right.
was sitting in the room when that interview was happening too, I guess. Like they
Yes,
kept
she
flashing to
was.
her. Um,
Yeah.
and she was kind of,
Yeah. Yeah. So even if you go onto her socials, which I follow her on all the things, Instagram, all the places. If you go on her, she posted a Merry Christmas with a picture, like first year married, Merry Christmas, whatever. But the comments are not favorable to him at all.
good.
I know, right? They're all like, Mr. Simone Biles, look at you. Aren't you cute? We didn't know you existed.
So true.
I know. So I hope he learns and grows from
Yes.
this.
Let's hope that's so. Let's hope that's
Yep.
so.
Yep. 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 So my Christmas was great, but it was a
Good.
busy 36 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Christmas Eve was on a Sunday, so that meant I had to preach that morning. Didn't have to. I preached that morning. And my sermon was used to my favorite Christmas book, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. If you don't have that book, the Herdmans are my favorite little family, and you need to run out and get it. Um, and then I immediately got in the car and drove down to Macon. Um, and made it to Mulberry.
Good.
My friend who is the senior pastor there, which is Mulberry Street United Methodist Church in Macon, is my home church. The senior pastor is extremely sick with all kinds of respiratory things and has been in and out of the hospital. All this is online. I'm not telling you anything that's not out there in the world. So I was just going to go sit in the pews and enjoy the service because I never get to do that as a preacher. But when he got so sick, I said, well, I'm in town. So if you need me, I'm here. So just, I'll help. And so they did. And so they dusted
Good.
off the Katie box, which is what I have to use to see over the lectern. So it's just an extra step up.
Mm-hmm.
And they got it out of storage because the associate pastor is 6'7". So if you happen to go on the Mulberry website and just watch us process in, it is hilarious
I bet.
because the height difference is just amazing. And then, I mean, it took my breath away really to process down the aisle at Mulberry because even when I was a member there, I was not in the choir. I mean, y'all is famously, I'm terrible at singing. So I didn't, when the choir I don't do that. So getting to do that in any capacity is very, very special. And so I almost cried processing in, but it was very sweet. It was a beautiful service. Peyton, the 6'7" minister, preached on Lord of the Rings, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, he's great. He's a young child. He's like 25. But he did a really good job. And then we served communion together, and I got to serve communion to my people, which is always just a beautiful thing. And I tried not to cry again. And then they turned the lights off and we lit the candles, and I tried not to cry again. And then I got to recess out, and it was great.
Good.
So that was just, it just made Christmas just really, really special. And then my sweet friends invited me over for dinner, and we had chili and all the fixins, and it was just a nice, quiet evening. And then Santa came. And then I got up the next day and went and saw my family, and just had a great time. I met Rico, the new macaw that my nephew has. And every time he says Rico, all I want to say is suave.
Love.
But I tried my best. Rico likes me. He stood on my fingers. It was great. We bonded.
Yeah.
It was nice. Um,
How
but
did your nephew, like, what was his first bird?
oh, so he still has pineapple.
But, like, did he just ask for a
Yeah. Well,
parrot?
he's always from almost birth, from the time he could talk, he's been obsessed with animals. At a very, very young age, like 4 or 5, he could tell you any animal or dinosaur what continent it was on, if it was warm-blooded or cold-blooded, what it ate. He just loves animals, and it has morphed into this thing where he has guinea hens, he has turkeys and chickens, and of course birds in the house that are loud. Whatever. They're horses and donkeys, the whole 9 yards. So they have just he's gonna hopefully be a vet, is what he's thinking, a large animal vet, but he's so smart he could do whatever. And
Not an ornithologist.
well, he said yesterday, he said, I would love to do exotic birds, but
Listen,
there's just not that many around
I
here.
just wanted to say
I
ornithologist.
love that you know that word. He would love it. But he's so sweet. He gets my sense of humor because we have the same sarcastic sense of humor. And so he's anyway, the girls are great. It was just a lovely day. My
Good.
favorite thing that came out of the whole shebang though was we were sitting talking about family trees and ancestry and all that. Turns out on my dad's side, my great I think that's yeah, great grandfather had 24 children
As you do.
with two different wives, 12 each, and most of them became outlaws. And then my cousin who was there, Molly, who I adore, Molly Martin, said, well, our McAfee family members were known sheep thieves. And I said, I did not know that. So I've added a shirt to our merch when we do it. We're going to have one that says slow roasted tomatoes. And the other one's going to say outlaws and sheep thieves. Because, I mean, it explains so much, does it not?
I feel like, yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, that's us, outlaws and sheep thieves.
There
And
you go.
preachers, apparently.
There you go. There you go.
So that's kind of my couple days. After that, I'm here resting. That's what I'm doing. So
Good.
yeah.
Good. Well, I headed north on Friday, got here Friday, and proceeded to start the cooking.
Of
And
course you did.
I don't think I sat down again until maybe yesterday, which was Monday.
Bless it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point on Christmas Eve, I walked in and my sister was sitting in the den doing charts. She's a nurse practitioner, so she was locking notes. And I went in there and she had fallen asleep.
Stop
And
it.
I was like, "Excuse me." She woke up, she said, "You didn't take a picture of me, did you?" I said, "No."
You should have.
I lay down on the foam roller because my back was about to blow out from standing up for
From
so long
standing up
cooking.
cooking for all these ungrateful people that were sleeping.
And while I was rolling out my back, she fell asleep again. So then I did take a picture.
Okay, good. Yeah. I love it.
Like, are you kidding me? Oh, anyway. But no, it's great. My mom came over. We had tenderloin. Although there was a first. It was in my family. My great grandmother, whose name was Gracie, was notorious for always forgetting something, like a dish or either leaving the rolls in the oven. Like there was always something that happened like that. And as we started eating, it didn't even occur to me until we started eating. I went, "Oh, I forgot to cook the Brussels sprouts." Oopsie.
Oopsie.
But nobody missed them. It was fine. But I made Gogi's cheese muffins. We did not have mini muffin tins, so I just did them in the regular muffin tins,
Yeah.
and they were still delicious. Big hit. So that was good.
Apparently several people made them, and that would just make Gogi just so happy.
Right.
It really would.
Yeah. It occurred to me, I think it was whenever the 22nd was, that was the 5-year anniversary of Nanny's death. And it occurred to me that like that would make her so happy that all these people were talking about her sausage balls.
I know, right?
Oh, but anyway, so and then Christmas was fine. We had my sister's husband's son came over yesterday morning, so we didn't realize we didn't realize the schedule because
Mm,
Lewis doesn't always do the best job of communicating
mm.
schedule things to us. So
Same,
to
same.
Lewis, it was
Yep.
to Lewis, it was no big deal for because usually we get up, start opening presents, and we pass around sausage balls and cinnamon rolls. And Lewis thought it would just be fine for Brad to come and do that. And we're like, no, that is not how this works. So we pivoted and I made some breakfast, sent Lewis on Christmas Eve back to the grocery store again. It's like, go get some grits and some fruit.
Love it.
And then I whipped up some homemade biscuits in the middle of it all too. So anyway, but we went to church to Christmas Eve, which my
Mhm.
sister goes to West End Methodist in Nashville, and same sort of thing, just beautiful church.
Yeah.
We had never done the lighting of the candles before though. So that was a first, and that was really nice. And Will went with us this year. It's the first time he's ever gone with us because he's always, been getting ready for Santa Claus to come and is usually
Right.
asleep. Um, or in, the past 5 years or so, just didn't want to go.
Right.
So we were glad for him to come with us for the first time, and we didn't embarrass him too much. But that they have an organist and an organ at that church who is just
Mhm.
beyond.
There's nothing like it.
And so he starts 30 minutes before service,
Yep.
and plays several selections, and it's just beautiful. So,
Yep. And I will say my friend Betsy, I'm not sure if she's a listener, but she played her harp at Mulberry before the service.
oh, that's so
And it
nice.
was just to die for. And then of course she sat across from me on the up on the all the it's not the altar. Anyway, up there, and we giggled the whole time, which
Yeah.
was not appropriate, but it was fun.
But, it's
Yeah.
Christmas Eve. What
Yeah.
are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, so no, so all that was really good. And like I said yesterday, we didn't get out of our pajamas literally all day. Today we have showered. And we've all been doing a little work. I think tomorrow we're going to go see the Boys in the Boat movie.
Oh, I wondered if y'all okay. I was gonna ask you about that. I'm glad
So
you're going to see
Will's
it.
already seen it. My nephew Will is on the crew team.
Yep.
And one of the crew moms rented out a local movie theater
Oh,
for them to
good.
go. So he's already seen it, but he said he'd be glad for us to go. And I, asked him, I said, well, would you like your girlfriend to come go with us? And he's like, well, she won't understand it. I said, well, Will, it's like a movie.
It's a movie, like, made for everyone.
Right.
They're hoping people other than crew people go see it.
Right. Otherwise, the
Otherwise,
movie will not do well.
it will not recoup.
Right. And then I'm going to cook, shocking, I'm going to cook a birthday dinner for my mom tomorrow.
Oh, when is her
Her
birthday?
birthday's the 30th. Um,
Oh,
but they're leaving to go to Denver on the 28th.
yeah,
So we'll celebrate mom's birthday before everybody vamooshes. So
good,
yeah, so that's sort of all we've got. Just low key.
good.
No dog to worry about
No
other than
dog.
Lucy.
I know. Well, that's fun. That sounds like a great day with family. I'm glad you got to enjoy them. When and you probably just said it, but you're coming back when?
They're leaving on the 28th, so I'll come
Oh, okay,
back. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, awesome.
We'll go through. The plan is to go to Ackworth and visit my dad, although he currently has COVID. So we'll have
So
to
maybe
see.
not.
He first tested positive last week, but he was still testing positive Christmas Eve. Yeah,
Whoops.
so we'll have to see. But yeah, I'll be headed south at that point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. So it's my week for food, and I thought I would share. Mandy last week shared all her Christmas morning and Christmas Day stuff, and so I thought I would share my two favorite things. I have said it before, my sweet sister-in-law is raising four kids and my brother, and she does a great job. She's such a gracious hostess, and I'm so thankful for her that she has us over. She did something different this year, which was really, really good. She said she just found on the internet. It was just a sausage and hash brown casserole that was delicious. But I thought I would share because I'm probably going to make it for New Year's. I don't love black-eyed peas, but I do like collards, and this is a great way to eat collards. And so, her grits and greens breakfast bake is so good. You put eggs on top and bake it. It says MyRecipes, but it's originally a Southern Living recipe.
Mm-hmm.
But I dug around and couldn't find it on Southern Living very easily, so I just used this version, which links to it. So enjoy that. It's really, really good. And so I'm excited to make that. Part of that is today I put in my order for Marsh and Mill grits. And I've linked them on there as well. This is what my new best friend Birch and she helped me because I went on Marsh and there are 5,000 different versions of grits on there. And I think it's wonderful. There's ancient grains, there's rice, there's all kinds of really good stuff. So I highly recommend the whole site. But she recommended her 3 favorite grits. And so I ordered a variety pack. And so that should come in at some point soon.
Nicely done.
So I
Also,
can make
just
my grits and
FYI,
greens.
my Whole Foods carries them.
Trying
So
to think. So we have near me is not Whole Foods, a Sprouts.
probably not.
I don't know. So I'll have to, there might be one between me and my friends that live down in Peachtree Corners.
Yeah.
But it wasn't overly expensive. For
Yeah.
3 bags of them, it was like $28.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to add shipping, but it wasn't bad at all. And they've
Yeah.
got tons and tons of really great products. So highly recommend that site. The other thing I make is I know I mentioned it on here before, but I wanted to put the full recipe on here is my cream cheese Danish squares. I've made it for class when I take breakfast food for my classes. Since I'm room mom. And sometimes I make it on Christmas, but it's so super easy. Crescent rolls, cream cheese, sugar, and vanilla. Underneath the actual recipe, I also put some notes like you can make this whatever you want it. Um, if you like it sweeter, add more sugar. Just follow your heart.
Right.
Vanilla, same way. Um, some people even you can find these recipes everywhere, but you can add another crescent roll layer on top and then make a glaze if you wanted to.
Yum.
I'm more cream cheese heavy kind of girl,
Yeah.
so I'll leave that off. But like there are tons of different ways you can make it. I've seen the one with the 2 layers cut into smaller squares, even like as a little dessert pickup at an appetizer or Christmas party or something. So
Yeah.
you can make it that. But Pinterest has a wide variety of these things, but this is just the basic recipe. The other thing I like to do sometimes is macerate some strawberries or raspberries or
Um,
something and put those on top. Um,
macerate.
I
Um,
know, I
you
know.
said you said macerate.
That's a big word that just means put a little sugar on top
Mm-hmm.
and let it sit. And it makes, kind of a sauce instead of just the fruit. So that's also really good. You can make it the night before. It's just the easiest thing in the world, but it is so delicious and you can make it however you like, which I also like that as well.
Yum.
So you will see all of those variations and the basic recipe and all the things in the show notes.
Good. Thanks, ma'am.
Of course, Mandy, I am so excited to see. I have been wondering what your favorites would be
Shut
all
up.
week.
Shut up.
I love you so much.
Katie and I started talking. Before we started recording. She's like, "Okay, well, so it's your week for favorites. If you want to just tell me, I'll just type them in."
As you go.
I don't know, but I've come up with some, y'all.
Well, look, to her credit, we are doing this a day early.
We are. That is fair. That's good. Thanks, Katie.
You're
That's why
welcome.
you're my people.
Grace abounds.
You enable my procrastination.
I do.
I wouldn't get anything like Katie drives all of this. It's great. It's great. Like, okay, yeah. I'm real
Well,
agreeable. I don't have any opinions about I mean, I have opinions about a lot of things. I shouldn't say that, but I'm pretty agreeable
Yeah,
generally.
yeah, yeah. Same. Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Katie comes up with the idea and I go, yeah, that sounds great.
Good.
Oh, okay. My first favorite thing is I get this basically every Christmas, and it's funny. So Ruth Reichel, who used to be the food critic for the New York Times,
Uh-huh.
and then was the editor of Gourmet Magazine. She has written several books, which are all great. If you like, and they're great listens because Ruth is like a native New Yorker and she has a real sonorous voice.
So like novels or like books about food?
Sort of memoirs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do think one of them was a novel. I think maybe I've read two or three of her books. Julie and I actually listened to one of her books when Will was 3 weeks old. Julie was speaking at a conference in Naples, Florida, right? And she didn't want to lose her spot on the speaking rotation, and she was
Yeah.
afraid if she skipped a year, she might. So we loaded up 3-week-old Will Caldwell into my mom's car, I think, and drove to Naples, Florida.
Bless it.
Yeah, and we listened to, I think it was Garlic and Sapphires is the name of that book. But anyway,
Ooh.
Ruth is she's great. She several years ago would do a gift guide. She hasn't done it in a while, but she used to do a gift guide, and this was one of her recommendations on her gift guide, specifically the hand lotion. And as I mentioned, my sister's a nurse practitioner, and so she's always looking for a good hand lotion because she washes her hands
All
constantly.
the time.
And this was one of Ruth's recommendations for chefs who also do the same, and it's
Yes.
Jack Black skincare, not the actor. Um,
She said earlier, I said, what's your, she said, oh, Jack Black. And I was like, I mean, he's great, but it is Jack Black skincare. We've got it linked.
yeah. Um, but yeah, and it's a men's line. It's marketed to men. But it's listen, we've been using it for a long time, and I'm real sensitive to scents. I'm allergic to a lot of perfume, and so there's nothing about this that bothers me. It's very emollient. Today is our dictionary word
Hold
day,
on.
apparently. Uh,
I gotta
which
look
is
that one up.
it's just great, and it's not too stinky. And then in addition, their lip stuff, which
Okay.
is what we call lip balm in our house.
I learned a new word today, people.
Katie's looking it up.
I did.
Um, but the lip stuff is great. And so I always get that in my stocking. My sister gives me a tube of the hand cream. It lasts me all year. And then several lip things because listen, we always have to have one in our pocket. So
Always.
Jack Black, I recommend that. Um, the other Christmas thing I got, and this is sort of my mother should not have done this. But it's a really neat company and I love the story, so I thought I'd share it with y'all. It's Yearly Company, and
Okay.
it's a woman-owned business out of Nashville. Her grandfather gave her grandmother just a simple little thin gold bangle when they
Oh,
got married. And then every year on their anniversary, he would give her another bangle. And they're just real thin gold bangles. And so her grandparents, like, and so the tradition continued
oh,
with her mother, all her aunts and uncles, her cousins,
how
and
sweet is that?
right, isn't that the coolest tradition?
I'm looking at the
Um,
website now.
and so once she got married, she was having a hard time. They were having a hard time sourcing just these thin gold bangles. And so she had gone to Vanderbilt, was living in Nashville, and she took a like metalworking class at Vanderbilt at night and learned how to make them.
Wow.
And so she first was just making them, for her family, and then she started this business literally in her garage. Who turned me on to her is Whirl, our
Oh yeah.
goddess, our goddess
Follow.
of all things.
Yeah, so follow her. We talked about her several podcasts ago.
Yeah, she's been one of my favorites for a long time. But so Whirl turned me on to her. So I started following her years and years ago. And she was literally like she would bundle up in a big thick coat and go out to her garage to make these bracelets. So I got my sister one for
Oh,
her
wow.
50th birthday. Yeah, they're not like they're splurge. They're a big splurge to get them.
I was looking at how stacked some of these women have on their
Right?
arms, and now I'm going back and counting.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, but like her grandmother and her mother, had like 50 bangles.
Yeah, that's like $10,000 worth of
Right?
bangle.
But
That's something to aspire to. But look, they are legit. They're beautiful.
and there's, it's just so I've
Beautiful.
got one that my sister gave me when I was her bridesmaid in her wedding.
Love it.
And then my mom gave us one, I think that same year for Christmas. And then mom gave us another one this year that has our birthstone on it.
I love it.
Um,
So, what on their website, part of it says marking milestones. I think that's a great way to think of these is, you can look down and remember each, like you just did, remember each one and why you got it and what milestone that you or your sister, whoever achieved that you commemorate with that. I love that.
right. And then here's another funny. So her sister is Mary of Five Mary Farms. And
Okay.
so this Anne is the woman who started Yearly. She grew up in Northern California. Her sister still lives in Northern California, married a lawyer, but then they like threw all that out and moved further north in Northern California and own a ranch.
Love it.
And it's that they have four daughters, all of whom's first name is Mary. So it's Five Mary's Farm. And she will post videos of her like helping birth a calf with a stack of gold bangles on her arm, and she'll like tag her sister's company. She's like, she hates it when I do this.
But look, first of all, that's the most southern naming thing I have ever heard in my life from California.
My friend Ashley McGee, who grew up in Charleston or grew up in Greenville, or grew up in no, grew up in South Carolina somewhere. They did that. Every woman in their family's first name was Mary.
Mary Elizabeth,
Mary
Mary.
Ashley. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it.
not
That's the
funny.
most southern, wonderful thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I love
The
it.
other I made my sister watch last night, Five Mary Farms was posting.
I
They
was
have the
about to say,
cutest. They
hold
have
on.
the cutest tradition in
Okay.
their family. They were all at their parents' house. What are you looking at?
True South, just like my post about watching their thing today.
We're still in our true South kick, y'all.
Yeah. So anyway, that was breaking news. We have breaking news. All right, hold on. Keep going because I'm going to do Five Mary Farms. We got to stay focused.
So she posted last night. They are all at her parents. So there are four of them. They're the two sisters and then two brothers in between. And they are at their parents' house celebrating Christmas with all their kids. And their parents have this great house. I think it's in Menlo Park. Um, but they were over there. I think I can't remember if it was last night or Christmas Eve, but they have a tradition that, like, in the middle of all the festivities, all of a sudden they're like, Santa's coming. And all the kids have to run upstairs. And while all the kids are upstairs hiding, Santa comes. And then when Santa leaves, they all come running down these stairs, and it's like a twisted staircase. And so it's just this great video of all the cousins
Okay.
running down the stairs to
I
see
was,
what Santa has
is
left.
that her? I was going to
Yeah,
make sure.
that's her.
There's several. Okay.
Yep,
So,
that's her.
some of my people follow her too. So you can follow her and the ranch and the meat company.
Yeah, listen, these girls are entrepreneurs. That
So,
she has started, they already had a meet, like when they started their ranch, that was sort of their whole thing, was to
there's a
be able
burger house now.
to produce this meat. Then they opened a restaurant, and she's sort of like Pioneer Woman.
Yeah.
She's sort of like Pioneer Woman is what she's done. She's got two cookbooks. Last year for Christmas, I gave my dad a box of meat and his wife a cookbook for Christmas, and now
Yeah.
apparently she started a merchandise line too.
It's Five Marys, and I'm putting that in the show notes as well. If you just type in Five Marys, like spell it out in Instagram, they all pop up. But I've put it in the show notes just so you can have, because they're fun too.
Yeah, yeah, this cute little family. So
They
yeah.
are.
Um, So, and then, okay, so then so New Year's. We're coming into New Year's, y'all.
Yeah.
So, um, New Year's traditions that I love. Listen, Susie was like, "Why don't we spend New Year's together?" I'm like, "Okay, well, I want to be home by 10:30."
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
"Well, you could spend the night here." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm still gonna be in bed by
Yeah.
10:30. Like,
I don't
it's not gonna happen."
know.
Um, but I was thinking Susie loves nothing more than some crab legs.
Ooh.
So I was thinking maybe we'll do some
Ooh.
nice fillet and crab legs, maybe just treat
Love
ourselves.
that. So Birch, we're best friends now. Birch sent me her grandmother's devil
Deviled
crab
crab,
casserole.
Grandma Susie.
Maybe what I don't know. One of
That's
the
legit.
two are going to be my New Year's because I will be doing the same thing by myself. I will be right here in bed by probably 9.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, but then I also like I love somebody has a tradition of eating 12 grapes at Christmas, which I think
Oh,
that's really cool. Like
I
that's a
love
good look.
that.
I can't remember which it's a maybe Spain or Portugal, I can't remember.
Okay.
That's what they do. I like that
Yeah.
idea. And then of course, New Year's we'll have I typically do Hoppin' John,
Oh, yeah. I love Hoppin' John. I just don't like overly cooked black eyed peas.
mushy peas.
I
Well,
don't,
that's what I was gonna say. Try Hoppin', if you do Hoppin' John, it's
yeah.
less pea. Your pea
Yeah.
ratio is down. You cut your peas with, other things. But I'll usually do that, and I don't like to cook collards.
Oh,
Uh,
oof. Yeah.
so a lot of times I'll just do kale chips.
Oh,
Um,
yum. I've already gotten my ham hocks though, so they're in the
yeah,
freezer. I'll pull those
yeah.
out. It may
Um,
not be. It may just be that casserole
that'll be fine though.
because it's
And then
got
I like to
collards
do
in it.
a nice pork chop too. Usually
Mm.
is what I do, and
There's a
cornbread.
Yeah, so I used to back in the day, I would go to my sweet friend Tom White's house for New Year's Day, and he would have and if I can find it, I'll put the recipe on here, but he would have a pork tenderloin with the best mustard sauce I have ever in my life. So I will try to find that um and put it on here as well because it's so good, but I do love a pork chop.
Love a good pork chop.
I do too. I do
There
too.
used to be a pork chop at the Green Hills Grill in Nashville, and they
Mm.
only had it on Friday nights. And I once sat beside Fred Thompson because he would go every Friday night.
I met Fred Thompson.
Listen, I got
He's a
another
big
story about
man.
Fred. I had
That was
another
a
story about I can't tell you on the podcast though.
well,
Um,
there yes. Same probably. There are several things that I cannot say on this podcast that have to be on that.
oh yeah.
Some would
And
be
then
surprising and some would not.
yeah, exactly. Um, so then I started the other thing we had talked about maybe talking about on the podcast is sort of goals and that sort of thing for new.
Yeah.
Last year, I'll tell you that my my New Year's resolution for 2023 was to drink more martinis.
Oh,
I wanted to become a martini drinker.
okay. Are you?
Um, just because I never think about it. Well, I still
Yeah.
don't ever think about it, but I have consumed more martinis than I would have
Okay.
because I did think, oh wait, I'm supposed to be drinking martinis.
Yeah.
Um, and then the
Sorry, I
other
gotta
one,
keep checking in case John T, comments or anything.
breaking news.
It was your friend Lee.
The other thing last year was to learn to make gumbo,
Oh, that takes a dark roux and the
and I
things.
haven't done it yet, so we're gonna have to move that to 2024.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
I
but I
love
like
that.
those. I like those sorts of goal
Yes.
settings,
Yes. Well, first of all, grace abounds. Here we go
right?
again. If you didn't do it in 2023, just move it to 2024. It's fine.
Right? Right?
I don't normally do like resolutions or anything because I immediately break them. I mean, I could try to cuss less, but that's going to take prayer and intervention more than a New Year's resolution. and some other things, but and so I used to pick a word like a couple years ago it was brave, like I was gonna just be brave in life and do the brave thing. And I feel like I've done that. I
Yeah.
moved
You
and
sort of blew up everything
I
and did
did. I
something
blew
new.
my whole world up.
That's pretty brave.
Um, but I think this year it's more like what I want to achieve this year. Like I really want to, keep focusing on self-care. That worked really well for me last summer. I
Mm-hmm.
was able to really do some good things for myself health wise and just mentally as well. And so I want to keep doing that. And I'm just, to be more present in the things that bring me joy. So things like, I mean, I know we've said it 1,000 times and we will say it again, more, 1,000 more, but like baseball season's coming up and the Olympics are coming up and just finding joy in the things that continually bring me joy and maybe letting go of some things that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep that self-care going because that's just so important for all of us.
It is. It's important to be where your feet are.
Yes. I have really enjoyed being up here. I mean, we talk about Macon all the time just because we're both have ties there and I love my dirt down there, but it has been great to be up here and to reconnect with friends north on the north side of Atlanta and to do all the Atlanta things. I hate
Mm.
the traffic, but there's some great things going on and I've really enjoyed that and so I really want to live into that some more.
Good. Yeah. Take
Yeah.
advantage. There are some there, believe it or not, there are some good things about Atlanta.
There really are. There are. So I think I told y'all before the last podcast I joined. I'm a member at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens now. So I'm really excited about that for the spring.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And like there's a new Balenciaga if you're into fashion at all. I mean, I'm in my pajamas, so it doesn't look like I am. However, I appreciate good sewing and good craftsmanship and
Listen,
um
she loves a tapestry, y'all.
I do love a texture. I'm gonna and so there's a Balenciaga exhibit coming to Scadfash, which is my second favorite museum in Atlanta. But I think some of my friends are going to come up and we're going to do that together and just finding those moments that you can really fully live into the joy of life. And so, and not missing out on those opportunities.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it.
And next semester, I'm taking God and evil. So I will have to balance that out with some kind of joy. It's gonna be a great
Remember,
class. I don't wanna poo-poo the class. It's gonna be great. I love the professor so much. He's got a ponytail that sometimes goes into a man bun, and he plays the banjo. He's fantastic, and his
I
daughter
didn't
plays harmonica, and sometimes she comes and plays with him.
I
Okay.
didn't know my choir director was your teacher.
It's so amazing.
Sounds exactly like my choir director.
Hey, Kendall Solid for the win. But yeah, he was like so I most of the time behave in class. I'm not like this on here. But he was like, Katie, I'm so excited to have you back in class. You got to really let loose this time. You're fun. And I was like, oh God, you don't want me to do that. I swear.
You might want to rein that back
Not what
in.
you want in life, Kendall. And he makes us call him Kendall. He's like, don't call me doctor anything. I'm Kendall. Okay, Kendall.
There you go. That's
So
probably easier for you than some of the other youngsters.
look, that I'm in the same age range as most of my professors.
Mhm.
When they quote Tupac, I'm just about the only one that knows.
Right. They love you. You
They
get all the
do, because I'm the
references.
only one laughing at them. Because 'cause I'm the only one that
You
gets it.
you get all their references.
I know, right? So fun.
Well, good. Well, yeah, so just hanging out at home?
Yes, so, eh, I've said it, but I'm a minister, so the high holy days are very busy. So this is, we've got Epiphany coming up, So I'll bring the
Yeah,
wise men into the fold.
I was just about to say, did your wise men make it back?
So they get moved. So the wise men will be moved. It's technically not till the 6th, but the way that New Year's and Christmas Eve fall this year, we're doing Epiphany early, down next door at the church house. And then one of my favorite services is a Remembering Your Baptism service that we'll do the next Sunday on Baptism of the Lord Sunday, where we celebrate Jesus at the beginning of his ministry when he's baptized.
So when you say we're doing Epiphany,
Well, that just means that my sermon will be about wise men.
so Epiphany is the wise men?
Is the wise men. Yes. So Epiphany is the celebration of when the wise men showed up to see Jesus. We don't celebrate the shepherds, we lump them in with the birth. But on the liturgical calendar, we do celebrate the wise men showing up. So
Our Christmas Eve sermon was about the shepherds
I love that.
and how we don't ever celebrate the shepherds. So she celebrated the shepherds.
I'm gonna okay, put it in my
She, the
sheet.
the female minister at West End Methodist
There we
Church.
go. I'm gonna, I have sermon starters in my phone, and when I hear a good idea, I steal it. And that's a great idea. I talked about the Herdmans, as I said. If you don't have that book, whether you're an adult or you have a kid or whatever, that book is the best Christmas story.
You and I talked about it, and I was like, I don't remember the book. I remember the movie.
Yeah, okay. They're redoing it.
Oh,
So it
good.
was a horrible 1983, as you can imagine, but they're redoing it and it's all good. Like the director's a great director. It's going to be really good. So I'm excited. Um, I mean, if you really want to, you can go listen to my sermon on grits and the gospel, but it's just such a great redemption story and how Mary and Joseph were real people and they probably were ridiculed and talked about. And they had to be brave, and they were brave because they had God with them. And so that's what my sermon was about.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's my favorite book. So I highly recommend. Her name is Barbara Robinson is the author. So
Okay,
you're
friend.
welcome.
You're so all that to say,
All that to say, it is a busy season.
yeah,
But now that school's out, the main part of Christmas is over. I am resting.
good.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna definitely take a day to go. I'm sure we'll talk about it. I'll go to the high as I get excited, about all the things
Baptistries.
there, and go to brunch because I haven't been to brunch. I haven't taken myself to brunch in a while, so
Well, good.
thinking I might do that.
Good.
So when
Well,
you get back, do you have anything crazy fun planned?
not until middle of January.
Oh, that's right. I wish I could look. This school really cramps my style because I would totally be there.
I know.
That's going to be a great trip to St. Simon's, and I wish I could make it work. But that's my first week back in class, and it's just I can't make it happen this year.
Yeah. Well, there'll be other years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
All right,
friend.
friend. Well, look, you have safe travels back to your homeland at the
Thank you, ma'am.
beach.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the things to you, Mandy, and to our listeners. Find your people, not your friends. Well, find your friends too. Find your favorites and your food. I have really enjoyed this journey this year. It's been crazy, but I feel like I
Bye.
have gained so many friends, and I'm just so thankful for all of you. And yeah, so Merry, everybody.
Happy New Year, Brooker.
Brooker. Oh, look, talk about somebody that's gonna have a big something. I'm sure Brooke is gonna have like a big turn a table over kind of night.
I bet she hasn't listened to a single
I
episode.
bet
If
she
she ever
well,
does, she's
in
gonna
a
be like,
while. She would be
be like, what
mortified.
are y'all talking about?
Mortified.
All right,
All right.
friend.
Have a great week, friends and
Happy New
people.
Year.